Ironically enough, one of the biggest concerns during a flood is having enough fresh water. And since you can only live about 3 days without water, having a safe supply should be your top priority. The normal sources of clean water for drinking, cooking, and bathing can become contaminated or even destroyed. Heavy rains can cause safe water supplies to be filled with debris, trash, dead animals, and even raw sewage inside cities. Floods that are large enough can breach dams and levees, causing lakes and reservoirs to empty, rivers to sweep across the landscape, and main water lines to rupture. The two best ways to ensure a safe water supply during a natural disaster are storing clean water and keeping a water purification option on hand at all times. Survival experts say that you'll need at least 1 gallon of drinking water per person per day just for survival, and up to 3 gallons per person per day if you plan to do any cooking or cleaning that involves water. If you're preparing for a family of 4, that would be 12 gallons of water to get through one day, or 84 gallons if your emergency lasts a week. If normal water supplies are cut off for more than a few days, or if you're forced to leave your home, chances are you'll have to find another source of water besides what you've already stored. The one obvious way to store water is to stock up on commercial bottled water at your local grocery or big box store. If you go this route, be sure to purchase your bottled water well before an emergency happens. When a flood or other natural disaster is imminent, everyone will be in a panic trying to buy bottled water, and the stores will be in a state of pandemonium. A quick note, with commercially bottled water, it's a good idea to rotate stocks every year. Another easy way to store water, suggested by FEMA, is merely to use tap water to fill washed out 2-liter bottles. If you prefer a more versatile storage option, we'd recommend water brick stackable containers. They come in both 1.6 and 3.5 gallon sizes. They're stackable, and they can easily store water in a safe, secure place in your home. It's definitely a great idea to keep a water brick in the back of an SUV or truck or in the trunk of your car to keep you ready not only for floods, but any natural disaster. If you're storing tap water in the water brick, be sure to cycle out the water every 6 months or so. Water Brick suggests adding 2 drops of non-scented bleach to every gallon of tap water you store, especially if it comes from a well or other water source that is not already treated with chlorine. This small amount of bleach is safe to consume with water and will help prevent bacteria from growing in the water while you store it. A ready-made water source found in most houses is the water heater. To get water, all you have to do is open the valve at the bottom of the tank to collect up to 40 or 50 gallons. You can also collect rainwater using a rain barrel or pull water from a stream or lake located on higher ground as long as it hasn't been contaminated by floodwaters. No matter what source you collect extra water from, if you have any questions at all about its safety, you must purify it. For collected water, you may need to start by filtering out visible particles. To do this, you can always go with a tried and true mechanical purification method of running the water through a barrier, such as a coffee filter, home drinking water filter, or even through a t-shirt. There are also options like the LifeStraw Personal Filter, which is capable of filtering up to 264 gallons, or the LifeStraw Family 1.0, which has a flow rate of 9 to 12 liters per hour for up to 4,700 gallons total. To put that in perspective, 4,700 gallons is enough to supply a family of 5 for 3 years. While these methods take care of larger particles, not all methods remove all harmful bacteria, viruses, or protozoa, so you should also purify it using one of the following methods. The most widely known way to purify water is to bring it to a rolling boil for at least 1 full minute. This kills any harmful bacteria, germs, or viruses, but also means that some of the water will escape as steam. Be sure you let the water cool before you drink it. Because the boiling process removes the oxygen from water, it can sometimes have a flat or stale taste afterwards. To remedy this, simply pour the water back and forth between clean containers to add air back into it. Keep in mind that a flood, like other disasters, can knock out electricity or gas power, making it difficult, if not impossible, to boil water in the usual way. So make sure you have a lighter and windproof and waterproof matches, like those from Stansport, or a flint fire starter like any of those offered by UST. To make starting a fire a bit easier on yourself, you might also want to keep a fuel source in your supply. like Endura's Utility Flame Gel Pack or some sort of tinder. And make your water boiling fire outside in a safe location. As we mentioned before, adding a very small amount of unscented bleach will purify tap water. However, purifying water that you think may be contaminated requires quite a bit more. FEMA suggests adding 16 drops of bleach per gallon of potentially contaminated water and then letting it sit for 30 minutes. If the water doesn't smell like bleach after 30 minutes, add 16 more drops per gallon and wait another 15 minutes. At that point, if the water still doesn't smell like bleach after the second treatment, throw it out and find a new source of water. In lieu of bleach, water purification tablets like the iodine or chlorine oxide tablets from Potable Aqua are another effective way to purify questionable water. Just make sure that you read and understand the instructions that come with any purification tablets in order to use them safely. And it should go without saying that people with iodine allergies should not use iodine purification tablets. The quickest alternative to boiling, bleach, or tablet purification is to use a UV light purifier. Hyrdo-Photon makes a variety of them called SteriPens. All of them work best with water that's already had the visible particles filtered out, and they kill up to 99.9% of harmful bacteria, viruses, and protozoa in up to a liter of water in 90 seconds or less. All of the options we've discussed are effective, but it's worth noting that you should have at least one method for filtering out larger particles as well as at least one method for purification. And it's definitely a good idea to have both stored clean water and a couple of ways to purify found or collected water before a flood or natural disaster happens. Remember, you need clean water to survive. And because water source contamination is one of the most common problems during and after a flood, solving this issue should be your top priority.